Welcome. This is the missing link to Magic Piano Keys. And I'm going to shorten the title by saying Magic Piano Keys, if you don't mind. But it really is the missing link. And what is it? People have been under stress for a long time trying to teach beginning piano. And it's for the beginning, experienced, home teachers, or parents, or guess what? You can teach yourself because it's word for word. There's a column for the teacher and there's a column for the student, and I tell you exactly what to do. And it's taking the stress out of beginning piano because you get out of bog-itis, I can't do it-itis, and I want to quit-itis. But the reason I wrote this series of books, which consists of 5 books, a CD, and a game, it will take you through 2 years of piano. But it takes you through step by step so you don't lose any of the levels, and that it gives you all the information you need. Some children will come to me from another teacher, and it's so sad because they'll come here after 2 years and they can't read their notes nor count their music. And they'll play for me. My, they can play nice, but I'll put something new in front of them and they're not reading their music. I have this new way of beginning piano to do it. There is a right and a wrong way to teach piano, because really, first of all, the old Michael Aaron, like this, used to have finger numbers on every single note. No wonder they didn't learn their notes in the olden days, and so did the Thompson. Then they decided to do transposition, just show me where to put the fingers on the piano, and that didn't work. Then they came up with these beautiful finger numbers and the colored pictures that are so exciting and pretty for the kids to do. And these books are fine later, but they all teach that way, by finger numbers and colors. And the students don't even do notes on the lines and spaces for several weeks, and that puts them way behind. But what we're going to do, we're going to teach them right on the piano keys, and we're going to teach them right reading the music on the lines and spaces. Now we found out there's a wrong way to teach. Those books are fine later on in the higher levels. Yes, use them by all means. This is for the beginning level of piano. Now what we're going to do, you're going to be surprised, because do you know what I said about the Michael Aaron, the old edition? The new edition of Michael Aaron is really good now. Guess what? The finger numbers are gone, and you begin teaching on the lines and spaces. It really works beautifully now. And I'll teach a child 2 pieces in this one, 2 pieces in this one. The finger numbers are gone except for just where they need them. And then 2 pieces in here. And by the time they get through, they are reading this book right here. That means they have been given 8 pieces to do on the first lesson. And they're able to read the notes here and to be able to count it. And it works just fine. Now, how is this accomplished? First, you need to know how to tell a child how to play the piano. On this book, it's called the Pick, Play, Say, Jump Around Manual. And in it, if you go to page 1 in it, you will find that it says instructions to the teacher, instructions to the student. And here's what it says in the teacher's column. Point to a music note with the point of a pencil. And then it tells you to tell the student notes are round circles placed on lines and spaces. Then it tells you how to explain what a line note is and what a space note is, and how to find line notes and space notes. The next page will tell you how to, which is right and left hand, about measures and the names of the notes and the keys. Now we have learned how to do the notes and what to do. Now we're going to open our book to how to teach piano. And right here it will tell you how to play the middle C and which hand to play it with. And then you'll turn to the next page and it tells you how to teach them C and D, and then how to do E and so on. It takes you right through. But what you want to do is just follow the first lesson. Don't think, I got to do all of this. I can't do it. No, just take the first lesson and read it, and it'll take you right through everything you need to know. And guess what? Your notes will be learned in 2 months, and you'll be counting Oh, it's so much better to know what you're doing when you're playing the piano. It really helps. Now here's how I teach it. By the way, it's visual, auditory, and tactile. I forgot to say that, and that's very important because that means that you can learn in all manner of learning. Now, so many people will come to me at conventions and they'll say, I can play with my right hand, but I can't play with my left hand. Guess what? They haven't learned how to do this because of the methods they're in. This Michael Aaron and the old Sham, which now is new without the finger numbers except what you need, it does the right hand and the left hand on every page, so those hands are synchronized. And it really works so good. And when I'm teaching, I would go like this. I would have them say the names of the notes as they play them, C, D, E, C, B, A, like this. And then come down and say the names of the notes all the way down through the piece, and then do it again. That puts the names of the notes in their head. Then to show them how to count. And you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Did you notice my hands are going back and forth? Because they're both learning to synchronize. And then in just 2 or 3 pages, they're going to come together, and those hands are working together right from the very first. And it works so good. Now, when I come down through, guess what they're doing when they're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, after they've said the names of the notes? Guess what they are? They have been playing their fingers down there automatically on the keys. C, D, E, C, B, A, and that's 5 notes on the piano on the first lesson. Unless you have a little tiny child that you're teaching, they'll just learn C, D, and B. But this really works. This works for everyone. The child and the adult are taught the very same way. And that, you know what, it really works great. See my fingers? That's the missing link to Magic Piano Keys, and the books I've shown you work together just like a hand in a glove. And don't substitute any other books. My daughter-in-law did, because she called up and she says, I'm teaching, but you know, it's not working quite like it should. And I said, why isn't it? She says, oh, I'm letting them bring the books that they have in the piano bench. And I says, you can't do that. You've got to have the right tools so that they'll learn right. And she started to teach and putting this combination together. And she called me up. She was real happy. She says, oh, it works, it works. I can't believe it. She says, it really made a difference. And my daughter, who is a music major, she was almost to go a different way and teach. And she thought she'd try it this way. And she then called me up and she says, Mom, I can't believe it. It really does work. So it's good to begin. I wouldn't, well, really, when you're teaching an adult, I've found that they miss too many steps if you use an adult method. And if you start them this way, they can work real fast, lickety-cut through the books, and an adult works faster because they want to get it done. Now, one of the books is called the exercise book. This is for the student, and it keeps you from wearing out the manual. So, this is what you're going to do. Because they already know how to do these 5 notes we've talked about. Now, at the end of the lesson, they have learned 8 pieces, 2 in each book, and we keep them reading. Now, because they know how, then I call it the pick, play, say, jump around. You pick the note, play the note, say the note, and jump around and find another note. And notice it's right in the lines and spaces on the first lesson. I'll ask the student, what's the name of this note? And they'll say that's E, and they'll press the key here. What's the name of this note? It's A. They'll press the key here and say it. What's the name of this note? It's D. What's the name of this note? It's B, and so on. You don't read it across, you jump around. Then when they learn the next new note, it's added here, and the next until they have their middle C position learned. And they can really, I mean learn, they know their notes. And that's just in the first month of piano that they have that all learned. Now we've worked in the exercise booklet. Now when this is used, a student is to do this at the beginning of their lesson. It's called the warm-ups. They practice the notes before they ever play their pieces, and that makes it so they get them, so they learn them. And there's this very cute little book called The Playtime Piano. It has Puff the Magic Dragon and Star Wars, a lot of fun things in, and it's right in the middle C position right here where we've been doing, and it really works so well. By the way, not only will you learn here and learn the piano, but did you know this piano course goes for 2 years of piano? Imagine getting this for two years of piano. Think how much piano lessons cost. Now we're going to move from the middle C position, and you have a fun book holding it down so the kids, the students will enjoy it. And then we're going to learn where to go here. E, G, B, D, F. That's going to be fun because can you visually see my staff? E, G, B, D, F. And here is where it is on the notes. And it's in the left hand right here. Now we're going to have some fun with this. Let me turn on the tape recorder. It might take a minute to get it going.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G are the names of all the keys.
Now you saw that these are the lines and spaces.
Line, space, jingle.
Let's turn it up so you can hear it. I'm pressing down the lines
The
and
notes
spaces.
in the treble clef are easy. E, G, B, D, F, and F, A, C, E. The notes in the bass clef are easy. G, B, D, F, A, and A, C, E, G.
E, G, B, D, F, and F, A, C, E. G, B, D, F, A, and A, C, E, G.
The
Now
notes
press
in
them
the
down
treble
again. There's
clef
your
are
lines and spaces
easy.
of the treble
E,
clef.
G, B, D, F, and F, A, C, E. The notes
This
in
is
the
the
bass
left-hand
clef are
bass clef, lines and
easy.
spaces.
G, B, D, F, A, and A, C, E, G.
Now you're going to go E, G, B, D, F, and F, A, C, E. G, B, D, F, A, and A, C, E, G. What's the names of your lines in your right hand? Oh, they're E, G, B, D, F. What's the spaces in your left hand? A, C, E, G. Yes. So you just quiz them. There's only 4. And why does it take people all that time to learn from here to here on the piano? Some of them don't even have it learned in a year or 2. My students have their notes learned in 2 months, and they can read them and play them. And they also, by the time they get in the middle of here, we add another fun book. By the way, theory is in here, but it just puts it in such a gentle way the kids don't even know they're getting theory. It works great. But anyway, when they get to the chords about, well, in here a little ways, it's about a little past the first fourth lesson or fifth. Then you'll do that, and then a fun book is called Play That Tune, and in it is book 1. I only use the book 1, and there it begins using the chords and that as you go. And as it progresses really quite rapidly. There's America and Old Black Joe, Old Susanna, the caissons, and it's fun because they're playing music they can learn. There's another fun thing to do. Besides doing jingles, jingles put the names of the notes in their mind so quickly. There are 9 jingles, and there's a CD on the rhythm that we'll be talking about soon. But right here, besides the jingles, here is a fun game. And the reason I made the box so big for the game was so the books could fit in it. And you'll put your note here and match it down here. Then you'll put your note here on the keys and match it here up here. And guess what? You can use a dry erase pencil or put some M&Ms on there, and the students can eat their notes, so they like that. You'll use this right here to put on the lines and spaces. So you have jingles to help learn the notes, you have a game to help learn the notes, and above all, we always do the warm-ups before they, even here, notice, to learn this, the bottom note is here of the staff, the top note is here. So how you're going to pick place they jump around it, you're going to say, what's this note? It's C. Then point to the top, and that's F. And keep pointing E and F, and so they see the width of the staff. Then you'll point to the middle one, and they already know E and G from down here. So really all you need is to learn these notes. So what's the name of this note? Where's it on the piano? Where's this? Then, besides saying the notes go here and I have chords here. They learn to read the chords before they even have them in their pieces because they know the top note's there, the middle one's there. Turn it over here and they'll play a chord here and a chord here. And then tell you the names of the notes. You do the spaces the same way. You go on through here to the left hand, right hand, you do the mix-ups. And then after you do the mix-ups, there's the sharps and flats. This takes you to including all of your ledger lines. Now, what do we do after we learn the notes? Well, remember, right from the very first lesson, you're going to teach the notes right in the little books. Now you've learned the notes. By the time you've been to the top and the bottom of the piano here, that teaches you every key on the piano. Now, it's very important for us to learn rhythm. And we learned rhythm at first right in the book. Right here, it's at the top of the book. And so you teach how to read the notes and say the notes, then you do the counting. And this takes you to about half of the book here. By the time you get there, you're just about done with Place They Jump Around on your E, G, B, D, Fs and FACEs. So that's a good time now to start the rhythm. And why rhythm? Rhythm is music's heartbeat. And on the CD, you'll find that all of the rhythms are on the CD helping you. Let's show you. I'll let you hear just a little bit of it, okay?
All rhythm in music has a pulse beat. The top number of the time signature tells how many counts in a measure. The bottom number tells what kind of a note receives a full pulse beat count. Open your book, Rhythm, Music's Heartbeat, for a full explanation of notes.
Now let's
and
go
their
to the
values.
next pages.
Look at page 18 in Rhythm, Music's Heartbeat.
So you go to 18.
Here is an example of the pulse beat count in 4/4 time. 4 counts are in a measure. The quarter note, which is black with a stem and has a rest that looks like a wiggle waggle, will receive 1 full pulse beat count. All quarter notes and rests are counted and clapped evenly.
Now you can see it talks to you all the way through the rhythm book and you can hear the clap with it and it will help you. So let's count our music. Let's make music sound like it's supposed to and have the melody go right. This is how I took quite a while to discover this, and kids just did not want to count. They didn't know why, and they just gave me a lot of trouble on it. But I finally figured it out, and I've never had much trouble since. So what is this? I'm going to clap it. Got it? What is it? I'll do it one more time. Jingle bells, isn't it? Now, this is what I do. They tell me it's jingle bells. I'll say, how did you know it's jingle bells? Did you hear any notes? No, didn't hear any notes. What did you hear? The rhythm, didn't you? Now here's how it's going to be. I'm going to turn my back to you and do it. Just a minute. Now, I'm going to play them all one count notes because I don't know how to count. That's how the music would go, or like, happy birthday to you, or happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. How would it sound without counting? And when they know why they should count, then they will do it. You know, you always will do things a lot better if you know why and understand why. So the rhythm book is very important, and we're going to start here. It tells you the note values, and here it will do it by pies. And so you'll do it by pies, and then it's going to start out real simple. And you clap it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you turn it over here, and here's the answers of how to clap it. And it will be on the CD. The CD has 29 sectors. There is 9 jingles, and then the jingles without the words so that you can sing it to it. And then all the rhythm patterns you also will hear here. And it takes you through 4/4 time, through all phases of it, through 8, through 2 to the beat, And it takes you over here to, by the way, the one thing it does besides that, that other rhythm patterns don't do, is I'll find it here. It puts your hands together on rhythms for both your hands. And you're not thinking about where the notes are, you're just thinking of how those hands go together on rhythms. And then you get over here to advanced piano, which is syncopated piano. Then we go over to where there's 4 to the beat, 6 to the beat, and clear over to including how to do jazz. And how to do jazz, like, let's do Raindrops. Here's how it's written. Raindrops keep falling on my head, but here's how you should jazz it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You always do it, I call it an on the ends. And then you have to know how to jazz pedal your jazz. But this will take you through all of your rhythms, clear to every rhythm you'll ever have. This takes you to every note that you'll ever have. So this teaches the notes, this teaches the rhythms. Now let's get back to how to teach piano. We take the first lesson here. Don't worry about all of this stuff, remember? Just take the first lesson. By the way, it tells you how to motivate a child. It tells you how to pace a child, how to pace the rhythms, the books the order of the books. It tells you how to mark the music so that you're not writing all the time, so that your attention is completely on the student at all times. And it will take you through, there's little genies that tell you little excerpts all the way through, that's like a Reader's Digest on the side of all the pages. And if you'll notice, if I were to go over here and look here, I'll look on the back of this, it says, congratulations, this book is completed, let's move to the next book. Here's the next book. Away you go. There's page 6 and 7, 8 and 9, and it says like, point out phrasing above each staff of music. Each phrase is a musical thought. There are 3 ties. Do not mistake ties for phrasing. I tell you every word to say and everything to do as you turn every page. And it takes you through 2 years of piano. And it takes you back here to motivation in the back, to motivate a student. What to do if a child cries, what to do if a person has bifocals. Be sure to always use a pencil and never a pen on music because it ruins it. And then the back if you'd like to teach piano, because this is good for someone that like to learn to teach, because all you'd have to do is start the first lesson ahead of the student and away you go. And you'll teach. This tells you the policy and outline for lessons that I hand out at the first of the lesson so that they understand what they're to pay and all about it and how they're to practice, and that you also have 4 days of vacation in the year, because that's the fifth lesson that's not paid for. They pay for 4 lessons, but the 5th lesson is yours. So there's how. So you have this is how the notes are done. The rhythm, the jingles. All the words to the jingles are here so that you don't have to turn around and get over there and keep turning it on. It says, the notes in the treble clef are easy, E, G, B, D, F, and F, A, C, E. It's written right here for you so that you can just refer to that real quickly. There's the CD and the game. So the set comes with 5 books, a CD, and a game. And then these 4 books that we talked about come from the music company, but I have them listed here. What you need for the student to begin the piano, for the student, they need these 4 books, plus they need the exercise book, and then they need the rhythm book at the end of when we have learned here. It comes about the middle of the blue book, as I told you. It goes through 2 years of piano. This is grade 2, but it's really about level 5 or 6. You're getting almost 2 years of piano in this set. And when you think of how much piano lessons are, they're $50 or $60 a month at least. And the set is paid for, and it can be used over and over again. You put one child in one corner, another corner for another child, another here. Just use them over and over again. And as you see, it goes here to the very end. And then I thought I'd tell you that I always keep 4 books going. The books drop off, this drops off, and the little green one drops off. But then I add the play that tune, and then by that time I get the Sham, I don't have it here, but Sham A book, and you'll put the Sham A book in. So as they're coming along, let's say about in about a half a year, I'll be adding this book and this book, and I'll be having a fun book. It's called Jazz, Rags, and Blues. This is a fun book, and I put it in about the end of, when I get to the end of the Michael Aaron here, I add this jazz book. I do the little book that starts here that had the Supercalifragilistic and Star Wars. Then you do play that tune, and as they learn these pieces, they're gradually working into Let Us Have Music. After that, they'll do highlights of familiar music, which has they have classical pieces in the back that are beautiful melodies from the classics, and also in the front are just regular melodies. Jazz, rags, and blues, I let them play jazz, rags, and blues all the way through the piano. They love it. There are 5 volumes. I never have any of the students not like this one. So I want you to know that I enjoy teaching piano, but my reason for doing this, I was so upset when so many children came to me and they couldn't read their notes, and they'd say, oh, I've been taking all this time, and yet they couldn't read their notes even though they could play nicely if I showed it to them. And I wanted to do something to help the children. There's another thing that's really good about this set. I have had experience with learning disability students that can accelerate and in different phases, but you can go as fast or as slow as you want. I'll give you 2 or 3 examples. There's one girl that came to me, and she was able to finally play. I noticed I had to say I'd say a lot of things to her over and over again, but she finally got it. Once she finally got it, she kept it. And by the time she was done, she was able to play more simple pieces. And I had 2 girls that had to go the special way in junior high because they couldn't do the regular curriculum. And I told the mother, if you will help me with the pick, play, say, jump rounds, and help me a little bit on that so that she makes sure they get it learned, then I'll be glad to teach them. And they did. And they became some of my better students. In fact, they became in my higher grade of students. They just excelled, and it was such a blessing to them. And there's another young man that was in the youth symphony. He sat on first chair in Salt Lake, and he said, would you teach me piano? I play the violin, and of course he knew counting. He knew the right treble clef, but he didn't know the bass. And I took him, believe it or not, back to the very first, but here's what you do. You take him at the very first, and then you just whiz. He went through the first book in one sitting, but I didn't. And then you take it, and he kept, and by the time 3 months was up, which was all the time he had, he was playing full score Exodus and all music comparable to it. So it's good for the slow learner, it's good for the regular, and it's for an accelerated learner. And I love teaching music, and I want to wish you my best. My name is Leila Christensen. This is called The Missing Link to Magic Piano Keys. And my website is, of course, you're probably on it. It's magicpianokeys.com. You can contact me anytime because I'm glad to help anyone with music. And if you look at the testimonials at the side on the over there, you'll find that I have truly, this is true, I have never had a negative in all the time I've been teaching this and showing this to others and people buying it. And thank you for listening to me. I'm not a public speaker, but I do love the music. I love the students I teach, and I want you to know, if you want to learn the piano and learn it right, and the beginning piano, you'll go so fast to the beginning piano, you won't have time to get bog-itis. You'll like it. And thank you for your attention, and I appreciate your listening to me. Now, you can teach on beginning piano on a keyboard so that you can maybe try it out. By the way, you can even buy a keyboard sometimes at a thrift store for only about $5 or $10, or on an ad for $15 or $20.